Hi there, and greetings from the Thar Desert of Western India. I'm here on the rooftop of my hotel with the spectacular view of the fort of Jaisalmer in the distance there behind me. It is heating up here in the desert and extremely bright, so pardon these sunglasses, but it's better than squinting through this video. So I wanted to talk about the subject of the Illuminati. Somebody posted a comment below one of my videos recently asking me to address this topic, and so I've been pondering it over the past several days, how exactly to approach this issue. It is certainly a very fascinating, complex, very important subject for sure, but I don't want to focus overly on the various specifics of who exactly the Illuminati are and the various controversies and conspiracies that they are no doubt perpetrating. First, real quick though, I will just try to dispel any controversy of my own. For anyone who noticed my t-shirt and is wondering what are those eyes, that kind of looks a little like the Illuminati eye symbol. These are the all-seeing eyes of the Buddha. So quite a different image from that of the Illuminati eye. And I think that it is actually a very fitting image for this particular video, which will become apparent later on. But I do want to just spend a minute or so here, very quickly, giving a little overview of the Illuminati and who they are and what they're up to. So the Illuminati, as I see it, basically this is kind of a cliche, generic term. I don't know, if there are actually people who call themselves the Illuminati, or if that's some term that was manufactured by others to explain those who are controlling our planet. So I'm just going to use the term Illuminati as a general term to refer to those who are basically in the real positions of power on Earth. So the Illuminati are individuals behind the scenes, not the presidents and prime ministers and the leaders of the countries, although they absolutely control the politics of many of the countries around the world. And this Illuminati power structure has its hands in all aspects of human society: political, religious, economic, social, etc. And they are a very organized group of individuals who understand very well human dynamics and society and how to manipulate people and societies and cultures. And they are keeping a grip on power throughout the planet for their own nefarious, greedy purposes of maintaining control and having extreme abundance of resources and wealth. They are very keyed into spiritual realities and powers. Just a quick little example is that Hitler used the swastika for his symbol for his Nazi regime. The swastika is actually a symbol of peace, which comes from India, where I am at the moment. You see it all over India, the swastika, because it is an ancient symbol, which actually means it is good. But Hitler took the swastika symbol, flipped it backwards, and put it in an angle, and then converted it into his symbol for power and destruction. So that's just one example of how these forces make use of esoteric spiritual powers in order to further their own goals. So the Illuminati is very sophisticated and multifaceted, and they control the planet on a wide scale. So I'll mention here David Wilcock, and I'm sure that I will lose a couple of people in doing so because he's a little bit of a controversial guy, but he has done extensive research on the subject of the Illuminati and their power structure, and has shown how the vast majority of the economics of the planet are controlled by a select few companies. And this is one of the main ways that the Illuminati maintains control, is through economics. So there's lots more that could be discussed in the realm of these various conspiracies and the power structure of the Illuminati, and who exactly they might be, whether they're the Rothschilds or the Bushes or the Rockefellers or the Clintons and whatnot. But as I said, that isn't really the direction that I want to go in this video. So one important point that I want to make here is that one of the ways to play into the Illuminati power game is to get overly focused on who the Illuminati is and what they're up to and the latest conspiracy and whether it's part of the Illuminati plot. There's the case of the missing Malaysian jet, which is still missing at the moment, and David Wilcock has actually done a very thorough recent article on that, and I will put the link down below for those who are curious to read more. But ultimately, then getting caught up in all this conspiracy stuff and running it all through your mind and trying to figure it out and trying to make sense of it is playing into the hands of those who are controlling the globe. The reason is because you are plugged into the system. You are still trapped in that mind game of being up in your head, trying to pinpoint who the evil is, and in so doing you're focused on something that, for one thing, to a great extent you can do nothing about, because the Illuminati has such a powerful lock on the power. You can't even get into Congress, really, if you hold these views of being that anti-establishment. And if you could make it into Congress, somehow make your way into the political system, then you still wouldn't make much of a difference. Even the president doesn't have the power to turn over this power structure. And so what do you do when you're up against the Washington, D.C. political elites, the U.S. military, the Vatican, the British Parliament, and these other systems that are part of the Illuminati world government power control system? What can you actually do? Not a heck of a lot. It's good to be informed, it's good to have some knowledge of this reality, but ultimately you're giving your power away and wasting your time and energy spending too much time plugged into this kind of stuff. The way that the Illuminati maintains their power over the people of Earth is by keeping them in a state of disempowerment. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean to be empowered? In order to be empowered, you need to be a president or a member of Congress or a mayor or in some sort of position of political authority or religious authority or social authority. No, you do not. In my view, real empowerment is a state of being within. It is a state of being within yourself. And getting lost in the mind is one way to continue to be in a state of disempowerment. The reason is because there are other aspects of our being which to a great extent we are disconnected from in our current society, because these aspects of our being are not truly valued. And these aspects of our being not being truly valued is part of the disempowerment of the people of Earth. And that's the ultimate point that I want to explore in this video, is how to come into a true place of personal empowerment, which is the only thing that is ultimately going to overthrow the control structure that is currently in place. So here's one much more effective, in my opinion, way to rid the world of this menace of the Illuminati. Go meditate by a lake. I realize that might sound kind of ridiculous. What the hell does that do? Meditating by a lake by yourself somewhere? The Illuminati just keeps on doing their thing and you're doing nothing about it, you're just sitting there. What does that do? Going within your being is an essential component of coming into true personal empowerment. So this leads back to my t-shirt, the all-seeing eyes of the Buddha, who's certainly a proponent of meditation and enlightenment, whatever enlightenment is, but being headed in that direction of enlightenment, of self-realization, self-knowledge, self-understanding, is the direction of personal empowerment. Finding our own truth within, our own connection with the world around us, with ourselves, with our mind, with our body, with our heart, with our feelings, with our emotions, and with whatever you want to call it, God, source energy, the divine life force of the universe. Finding that connection is how people become truly empowered, and it is in the people of Earth coming into that kind of empowerment on a mass scale that this power structure will ultimately be vanquished. So what does meditating by a lake have to do with overthrowing the Illuminati? Meditation is an act of going within, of getting in touch with that inner connection to the universe. Sitting by a lake is connecting with nature, with something real, feeling the ground underneath you, feeling your connection to the elements, hearing the wind in the trees, feeling the sun on your face, hearing the gentle waves of the lake lapping nearby. This is a much more effective way, in my view, of making a real difference in the world, is by making some real major changes within, getting plugged into the truth, as it were, on your own, within yourself, rather than spending hours of every day online in various chat rooms discussing the latest conspiracy and whether it's part of this grand Illuminati plot and what can be done about it, which is not very much. The internet definitely is a double-edged sword. It is a powerful tool for dispensing information, such as YouTube and videos along these lines, sharing various ideas and perspectives on what's happening in the world and what can be done about it. But it also can be a addiction, a crutch, a distraction that takes people away from the much more important inner quest of finding that state of being within, of being truly connected to life as you're living it, rather than being lost in the mind and up in the head and disconnected from the world, nature, the environment, your own human spirit, etc. The important thing to understand here is that there are real-world implications for making these changes within. Because yes, we are living in a physical realm here. We are not just in a non-physical, spiritual reality in the astral plane somewhere. We are here on planet Earth in a third-dimensional physical body. And there are very real problems on this planet: pollution, overpopulation, destruction of the rainforests, loss of habitat for wildlife, disappearing fish and coral reefs, global warming, etc. So how does all this stuff come about? Why is it that human beings are having such a profoundly negative impact on the planet? Does it have anything to do, perhaps, with being disconnected from themselves, from their internal spirit, and from nature? Why do you really care if there's garbage in a lake up in the mountains somewhere if you've never been there? But if you've sat there, if you sat by a lake in the mountains, meditating, experiencing the exquisite beauty of nature, the crystal clear waters, then you're going to be bothered by the idea of pollution in the environment and these various other problems around the globe. So when you make these changes within, when you come to a place of greater consciousness, greater awareness within yourself, and find a real connection with the divine life force energy, then your being shifts, your perspective shifts, your actions shift. And that's the important thing to understand here, is that our actions are only as good, as effective, as powerful as our internal state of being. So this is why getting caught up in all these conspiracy theories is a waste of time and a distraction, because if that's where you're putting your focus and your efforts, then you're not changing your consciousness, your soul. And that's where the real changes need to be made before any attempts to change things in the outer world will be of any use. As long as humanity stays at its current level of consciousness, then nothing really will shift. The Illuminati maintains their power by keeping humanity in the dark, in a state of low vibration, low consciousness, keeping people reliant on the Pope or a priest, some other authority figure, to tell them what truth is and what God wants them to do. So this is ultimately the way, in my view, to make a real difference on the planet and to ultimately overthrow this nefarious, greedy power structure of the Illuminati, is for there to be a mass shift of consciousness by the people of Earth. And it starts with you. It starts with one person connecting with other people on the same wavelength, going within, seeking within, going on a grand spiritual quest, and it then leads to these practical steps that will actually make a difference, and which certainly we can and should be focusing on at the same time. We can walk and chew gum simultaneously. We can make these internal shifts and simultaneously be seeking to make changes in the outer world as well. Certainly one of the ways that the Illuminati maintains their power is through economics, through controlling the global economy, by making people subservient through debt, whether it's individuals and their various loans and credit cards, or nations that they loan money to through the IMF and the World Bank, and then they're stuck paying back interest on those loans for decades to come. And when you come into a place of greater awareness and consciousness, then your choices shift. And one element of those choices shifting is that of where you put your money and to what extent you are basing your happiness on acquiring material goods, shopping at Walmart and Circuit City and Costco, and getting a new computer because the other one's two years old, and you want to have fancy new gadgets or whatever. You know, not that I'm saying this is all wrong or anything. I could use a new computer myself, but the point being, this is part of the control system, is to be stuck in this state of being of consumption, of looking for happiness in the outer world, of trying to get a new fancy car and new computer and new flat screen TV and all this kind of stuff, which to a great extent is just making people debt slaves to their credit cards and these massive monthly payments that they're stuck having to pay, and which keeps them on a hamster wheel of barely making ends meet, and thus distracts them from more important matters, such as this very important inner quest. So in conclusion here, what then is the ultimate solution for how then to dismantle the Illuminati power structure? It is not, in my view, to focus overly on the outer circumstances of what these forces are up to, how they're manipulating the earth, the current political scandal or controversy, or even how to come up with a new political structure, a new constitution, anything like that. The most effective solution to this problem, the way that you can truly, truly make a difference in the world, is to do the following, in my view. Meditate. Do yoga. Go hiking in the woods. Go to a sweat lodge ceremony. go to a Native American church peyote ceremony, some sort of a profound inner spiritual quest. Fast for 5 days. Don't eat anything, just drink water and juice for 2 days or 3 days or 5 days or 7 days, and you will change your consciousness considerably if you've never done that before. It is a very powerful means of going within, especially if you combine it with meditation and creative expression and whatnot. Do art, make music, seek God, or whatever you may choose to call the divine spiritual force that lies beyond this physical realm, as I believe. Speak your mind, speak your truth, seek to be as honest with who you are and with your interactions with others as you possibly can, and challenge the societal expectations in the process. Strike out on your own path, forget about what society thinks that you should do, find your own way of being, your own way of doing, eat healthy, shop responsibly, be conscious of the decisions that you're making, and even if you're only one person on this planet, you can make a difference as one person, one way or the other. Go traveling around the world in order to broaden your mind and see how other cultures live, and open your mind and your heart to other people, different ways of being. Come to India, which is somewhere that will absolutely challenge you to the core and force you to grow and evolve in the course of the various experiences that you will no doubt have in India or elsewhere in very different societies. Go trekking in the Himalaya mountains. These kinds of things which will shift your spirit, your consciousness, your state of being, are much more effective and valuable to the planet, in my view, than being lost in the system, being plugged into the system, even as you may be talking about how to make changes and all the various problems and what the forces of evil are and what they're doing. But in so doing, being distracted from making real changes within your soul and within your heart and within your consciousness. So I hope that's helpful. Thanks a lot for watching, and may peace reign on earth. Take care. Namaste.